Good morning, family. Happy Sunday. Excuse my bonnet. It is Sunday and we are going to be doing some Sunday soul food cooking. We as in him and I. Jackson is down here.
No.
So today we are going to be doing a little bit of soul food cooking. I'm going to make macaroni and cheese, broccoli, and some baked beans. What you cooking?
You want to do
Steak.
How you cooking it?
Grilling it.
Okay. So we're gonna have some grilled steak.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all get to cook along with us today. Darryl is holding the camera right now, y'all, and he is struggling.
My arm hurt.
He gotta go to Vlogger Training Academy. So y'all, we're gonna start cooking with me first, and then we'll switch over to him because I have something to do this afternoon, which is why I have the rollers in my hair.
Yes,
so I'm gonna go ahead and get my stuff started, and then we'll switch over. Jack, what you cooking today?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I'm cooking too.
Yeah, what you cooking?
Oh, I'm cooking soup. I'm cooking tomato soup.
Okay, tomato soup it is. If y'all want to learn how to cook tomato soup, you might want to click somewhere else. I'm not even gonna play with y'all.
Oh, if you want to come to my store, I got everything that's healthy for you, and you can get whatever you want that's healthy if you like eating healthy food just like me, because I want to be a tennis champion.
all right y'all, so I'm about to get started cooking. I'm gonna show you guys what I'm using first so that you can get your stuff out. If you're cooking on this Sunday, we're gonna cook together. Let's get to it. All right, y'all, so to get started, these are our ingredients. I got some milk. I like to use whole milk or buttermilk when I'm making my macaroni and cheese. I may use more cheese in this. I haven't decided yet, depending on how it's looking. So when it comes to like ingredients like cheese and seasoning, I think you should do to your liking. If you like your macaroni and cheese extra cheesy, then you need to use more cheese. If you like it not so cheesy, more noodles than anything, like that's something, once we get to mixing, you'll see that's something that like you can decide that you want to do. I do make my macaroni and cheese with sour cream. I feel like it keeps it moist. I like the flavor that it gives. Butter, eggs, and of course elbow noodles. Some people use different noodles. It's up to you, whatever noodles you would like. And I also do use seasoning, but I'm going to put that in later. And I feel like seasoning is like cheese. You got to use what seasoning you like best. So first we are going to start with boiling the noodles. Okay, water is about to boil. I do put in a little bit of olive oil, and I do salt my water. So we are just going to do that real quick before we put the noodles in. I have to be careful because I'm looking at the salt through the camera, and it's harder to see the salt through the camera. So real quick, just to show y'all my ingredients, if you have this much milk, do not leave this much milk out on the counter. But my cheese, my sour cream, my butter, I always take those out first before I start cooking, just to kind of let them warm up a little bit. You know, when stuff is cold, it's kind of stiff. So I take them out so that by the time I'm ready to mix them in, they're closer to room temperature and easier to mix in. But of course, I'm gonna put my milk back for now. I'm actually gonna take out just enough milk for what I need. But so don't ever like leave a whole jug of milk out until it's room temperature. Or your eggs, which eggs may be fine, I don't know, I just wouldn't risk it. So yeah, leave your ingredients out while you start cooking. So while we are waiting for the water to boil, I'm gonna go ahead, preheat the oven. I'm gonna put it at like 420 because the pan is kind of thick, so we want it to cook all the way through, and we're only going to leave it in there for about 45 minutes. All right, so we're going to go ahead, put the noodles in while the water is boiling. And at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and get started with mixing my eggs and my milk. I mix my eggs and milk together when I put them in. I don't know, it's just easier for me to beat them together. Also, y'all, if I sound distracted, everybody's at home right now while I'm doing this voiceover. But I used 2 eggs for this size pan. For the milk, I would say it's about a cup of milk. And I mix that together, beat that egg all together. You can add more milk if you like, depending on how moist and wet like you like your macaroni and cheese. This is how much I like in ours. Sometimes after I mix it and I put it into the macaroni and cheese, I will go back and add more milk. It just depends on how dry it looks. Now that the noodles are done, I'm just going to go ahead and strain them. I do like to rinse my noodles off just to get off like any excess starch. And while it's still hot, we're going to put our butter in there just to go ahead and get that butter melted down, since that's like one of the hardest things to get like melted down, since it's just a block of cold butter. So I'm just pushing it in to try and melt it as fast as possible and make sure like all the noodles kind of are like coated in butter. You can taste it all throughout. Next, I'm going to add in my sour cream. This something also that is up to you how much you like. I know some people don't even like sour cream in their macaroni and cheese at all. This was a medium-sized tub, and I used about 3/4 of the tub. Sometimes I might use a little bit more if I'm making a bigger pan, but I like sour cream in mine. I like the flavor that it gives and like the moisture that it brings to the macaroni and cheese. But get that all mixed in. I like to make sure every noodle is coated in everything. Now I am going to season. How much seasoning you put is up to you. I heard somebody once say, season till your ancestors tell you to stop. So some people like a lot in theirs. I just put a little bit of complete seasoning in there. I just like to give it a little bit of flavor. Not too much. I don't want to overdo it. Now that is all mixed in, next I'm going to start adding my cheese. So this is 1 full bag of cheese. As the pot fills up, I'm going to be adding the ingredients in a little bit slower just because I don't want it to overflow. Oh, I forgot to mention that I do have the stove on low heat. It's on very low heat just to kind of keep the noodles warm, because with all these cold ingredients going in, it could make it get, the temperature drop and it gets a little bit stiff and more harder to mix it all up. Even though mixing macaroni and cheese, if you don't mix macaroni and cheese for real, this is some work. So I started off with like a triple cheddar cheese mix. Next, I'm going in with just sharp cheddar cheese. And as you can see, this time I only put about half the bag in because I don't want it to overflow. So I'm just going to slowly mix this all in. And when you mix the macaroni and cheese, you got to mix until your arm hurt. Like, just keep mixing. And in total, I used 4 bags of cheese in the macaroni and cheese. But I went ahead, added the other half of the bag. See how some macaroni and cheese fell over on the stove? That's what I tried to avoid and do it in halves. But I could have also used a bigger pot, but I just didn't realize how much noodles I had put in there. I usually try to keep it at a small pan size since it's just for us, and we usually will eat this maybe like 2 days, at the most 3. So now I'm going to add in my milk and my egg. I add this in after, like once stirring gets a little bit harder. This is when I go ahead and add those in. That makes it kind of all melt together, a little more smooth. And I'm going to go ahead and start adding in some more cheese. I think this is the 3rd bag, and again, I'm only doing half at a time just to try not to keep it, trying to keep it from overflowing. And this is the other half, or this might be a new bag. I can't remember. I mixed in so much macaroni and cheese, y'all, I had to like cut it out. This video would have been like 40 minutes long of me just mixing in macaroni and cheese. Well, mixing the cheese into the macaroni and cheese. So now that it's all mixed up, we're going to go ahead and pour it in the pan. Make sure, this is why it's important to mix it all the way through, because once you pour it in the pan, you want to be able to just cover it up and pop it in the oven. But all your ingredients are mixed all the way through. You don't have any spots that taste different from others. So I'm going to cover it, but the way I'm covering is so that the top of the foil doesn't touch the top of the macaroni and cheese. We don't want it to get stuck, and we're just going to place it in the oven covered for about 45 minutes. Now that that is done, I'm going to go ahead, take the top off. It's been 45 minutes. I ended up actually letting it cool for a little bit longer, not intentionally. I was doing something, it ended up cooling for about 45 minutes, but it's fine because I'm actually just going to go ahead and put cheese on top and pop this right back in the oven. And I used about half a bag of cheese on the top of this. I was finishing off a half of a bag. So yeah, this is definitely a half a bag of cheese. And this I like to put on just to give it that golden, crispy, brown top. I know some people like crispy parts of the macaroni. And we're just going to put that back in there. And we'll take it out once it looks golden brown on top. You can go a little bit lighter or darker. It's up to you. And cheese is all done. I'm going to show you how it looks on the plate. I don't put parsley on top of mine. I know that would make it look better, but I'm into more of how it tastes than how it looks. So I'm going to show you guys once it's on the plate. So this is the finished product of the macaroni and cheese. Has that really nice golden crisp, kind of crunchy top, and the inside is just very moist. This point it had cooled for about 45 minutes, but it looks really good. The inside was like really moist, but not too creamy and like loose, if that makes sense. Alright, so next we are going to be making some baked beans. This is how I make my baked beans. I know everybody makes theirs a little bit different. It's okay. So, usually I have 2 big cans of these, but for my grocery order, they gave me one. I guess they didn't have 2 big cans of these, so they just gave me 1 big one and 1 small one. I used some dark brown sugar, but I also used some white sugar too. And I put barbecue sauce in my baked beans. If I don't have this sweet golden barbecue sauce, I'll use like regular barbecue sauce and also put some mustard in there just to give it like that, you know, some like tang to it. So yeah, that's what you need for baked beans, and we're going to get started making these. Again, baked beans is another food that's kind of to your liking. We like our baked beans sweet, so I'm going to use a bit more sugar, but it's up to you. However you like your baked beans, that's how much sugar you use. So I'm going to start just go ahead and putting my beans in a pan. I do cook my baked beans in the oven just to get them to bake. First, I'm going to put in a little bit of mustard. I know I said I wasn't going to use mustard, but I use mustard anyway. Then I'm going to add my sugar. I use a little bit of barbecue sauce and brown sugar. I do put more brown sugar than white sugar. And this is really easy to make. Just mix that all up. Once those are done, I'm just going to start with the broccoli, just chopping them up, getting them all ready to be cooked. I do like to use fresh broccoli just because we're already going to put seasoning on it. I don't like canned broccoli. I don't like frozen broccoli either, but really easy. Just go ahead, chop these up. I chop off the big stems because Jackson is very picky. It has to look a certain way to get him to eat it. Once those are all chopped up, I'm just going to put a little bit of water and seasoning in a pot and let them steam for about 20 minutes. Alright, so what you got going on? Because you rushed to put them steaks on.
Alright, my bad. I was on a work call and I didn't remind her to record, so sorry. But I put on the steaks, I seasoned the steaks with Sundays.
Okay.
Sundays Eatery seasoning, Trick Daddy seasoning. Put a little of that on and a little bit of Longhorn Steakhouse grill seasoning.
Okay.
And now we're eating the sides that we're eating with this are macaroni and cheese baked beans, so it's a very barbecue kind of style. So that's why I went with those two. But if we were eating it with like maybe yellow rice or something different, that's when I hit it with the complete. But we left the complete off this time.
Oh, so you didn't put no complete on?
No complete on.
Okay.
Just these two to kind of go with the barbecue taste.
Right.
Okay.
So are we gonna get to see these steaks?
Yeah, let's go to the grill and I'll explain to you what I did on the grill.
All right, come on. All right, so let's see what you got. Let's see.
So what I did here was first I seared the steaks. Okay? And I actually don't have my utensil with me, but I seared the steaks. If you look here, there's a fire turned up the grill, had that fire.
Y'all, he want me to get close to this grill, and y'all know I be scared my hair gonna catch on fire.
Yeah, get you a Boosie fade. That fire was roaring. Put the steak right in the fire. Seared both sides. Now I have them off to the side because you don't want it to burn up. Got them off to the side, just waiting for them to come up to temperature. Got a little temperature probe here just to kind of see how it's going.
Oh, you fancy, huh?
A little shum.
You fancy.
A little bit. So right now we got.
Oh, this grill making noise, Darryl. If my hair catch on fire, Jesus.
You're gonna look so good with a Boosie fade.
You got all the jokes.
Yeah, so we're almost there. That was at 140. That was at like 130 something. And I mean, depending on how you like to eat your steak, but I like to take them off around 145. Still have just a little tiny bit of peak in there. You know, so maybe another minute or two, and they'll be ready to come off.
All right.
I don't know why I scratch like that. It sounds like I'm lying, but I promise.
All right, y'all. So here is the finished product from tonight's meal. Darryl just took the steak off the grill, so it's still popping. I know like broccoli and baked beans don't really like go together, but when I was thinking about this meal, because Jackson doesn't eat steak, I was just trying to make sure the sides were things that he eats, because I knew he wasn't going to eat the steak. So I was like trying to make 2 meals out of 1 meal, if that makes sense, so that he could have like his chicken and also have his veggie and stuff like that. And he likes broccoli. But this is what we are eating tonight. So that is it. Thank you guys for joining us. We're gonna go ahead and sit down and eat dinner. Jackson actually already ate and he's gone to bed. Like, I'm so tired, y'all. It is 9:30 on a Sunday. I'm looking over because Darryl is putting Lincoln to sleep. Y'all didn't even get to see Lincoln. Oh, y'all did see Lincoln early. I'm like, this is the first video without Lincoln, but no, he was here. But yeah, it's 9:30 on a Sunday. I had some things that I had to do today, so we ended up eating dinner a little bit later. But of course, Jackson, he's already gone to bed. He ate his dinner earlier. But thank you guys for joining us. I will see you in the next video. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed already, please go ahead and do so. Thank you. If y'all want to see more cooking videos of us, or just what we're doing on a Sunday, make sure you go ahead and subscribe and comment down below. Let me know what y'all cooking this Sunday. What's for dinner? I hope y'all cooking. Don't tell me, because Chick-fil-A closed, so ain't nothing else to eat really. So what are y'all cooking? I'll talk to you next time. Bye.